Hi.
Hey.
So I just came about this article about a civilian Russian oil tanker who asked for fuel from a civilian Georgian oil tanker,
Okay.
and the Georgian oil tanker said no.
Okay.
And the Russian tankers, the people there said, let's put politics aside, we need some help. And the Georgian people said no. And not only that, they said no, but they were quite rude about it.
Okay.
So I wanted to know what you think about this, and also keep in mind that there has been quite a lot of instances where, maybe more recently, where Russian civilians have been kind of suffering from the actions of the leadership.
Okay. Well, I suppose in a time of war, it's always going to be political, regardless of how much you try to push politics aside. But what do you think? Do you think they were right in saying no?
No, I think we're all people, and you shouldn't refuse help. I know it's not the same, but imagine the Georgian tanker needed fuel, and it met some Bulgarian ship, and the Bulgarian guy, the captain, says, "My wife left me for a Georgian man, and since then I hate Georgian people, so I'll let you rot in the sea." I know it's not the exact like for like, but you can't, you have to put things like this aside if it's something to help in a significant way than another human being.
I completely agree with you on that. We are all humans, and as much as we can, we should always try to help another person in need.
Yeah.
But I think in a time of war, it's a little bit different, and allowances should be made for people to not be so nice. But I think when the civilians are affected, which is what the purpose of the sanctions are for, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think when the civilians are affected, then they in turn will then put the pressure on their own government, and then that in turn will either allow them to change their ways or bring the war to an end, God willing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. That's very true. Do you think that this is like an ideal situation? Do you think it can actually happen for the civilians to put enough pressure?
That one incident on its own with the ship, with the boats, I don't think that will make a difference overall in the grand scheme of things in terms of what Putin will do, how the military will be conducted, whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think loads of little things like that within the Russian community, when they do happen and they start to build up and they start to snowball effect into something bigger, then pressure can be put on the government. What I mean by that is, I recently read that some Russian billionaires, bless them, their pockets are hurting because of the sanctions and things like that.
Yeah, I think the whole of Europe would probably suffer economically from this war, but
Definitely, but I think more so Russia. I've also read that the ruble has plummeted in value. That's going to have an effect on the economy and the quality of life
of the people. Yeah, that's a very good point.
And it's not just, and I'm talking about the everyday person who works there. Customer service people who work in shops, people who clean, people who make cars, whatever. It's going to affect them people, and eventually, when they come together, their voice will be heard, and it will put pressure on the government to do things.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of person Putin is. I don't know if he succumbs to pressure, but he's going to definitely make things harder.
He doesn't look like he does, but
He doesn't. He's still
you
a human.
definitely have a point. Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I guess every case is subjective, but I think in this specific instance, then maybe we agree that you can do the human thing, but on the grand scale of things, you're right that you have to do something else, something different in order to get the result, to get to peace and to get to prosperity and stuff like that.
Well, it is the whole point of sanctions. It is the whole point. It's to make life uncomfortable for people in that country, which will have a knock-on effect on the mental health of the leadership, if he has mental health. So I don't know. And I suppose a big question would have been, if someone's life was in danger, a civilian's life was in danger, and you had somebody else from the other country coming in who could help them, would they? I guess you can look at the story of the Good Samaritan in the Bible, because they were enemies, weren't they?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's a case by case sort of thing that you have to think about, really.
Yeah, I think that's our conclusion. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Comments below. Love to hear what you have to say.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Like, imagine the Russian oil tanker to... No! I'm sorry. I can't do that. It's too much for me.
May not be military personnel, or they not be in positions of leadership, but...
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
economically, probably the whole of Europe would be suffering because of this.
Yes, but